Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. Now, in all my videos that I've been talking about these masters of wisdom and Maitreya, I've been discussing about how they're going to teach us how to live, together as a society, as a people, learn how to share our resources and create peace in the world and so forth. And that's true, right? Help save our environment and everything. But Maitreya has a core teaching for all of us as individuals. Now, this core teaching is extremely simple. Again, I can't stress this enough. You're going to be struck at how simple his approach is to all his teachings. And and when he says it with such a heartfelt message, you probably won't have to write anything down to remember it. It'll stick because he's going to be talking to us like we're 4 years old or something. But every one of these masters not only are going to be teaching this, but they live it moment to moment. So you'll be able to see and emulate this principle. Right now, his core teaching is broken up into three things, and they're all interconnected, so you can't do one without the other. Now, the first thing is you have to have honesty of mind. Now, it's not brutal honesty where we go around and tell everybody what we think about it, them or whatever like that. It's not like we have therapy sessions where we're just letting it all hang out kind of thing. We all think one thing, say something else, and do something entirely different. And if you look at politicians, right, a really good politician of today will say one thing at a political rally or make a political campaign promise at one political rally, turn around and go to another one right down the street or in another city or whatever and say something totally different, even though there are cameras on them, and then denies saying either of those two things, But yet, and I make fun of politicians for this, but we all do this exact same thing without exception, right? That's what makes us human. Now, what separates us from where we need to live, and then the way we need to live is not where we need to live, but the way we need to live is we need to have what we think line up with what we say and then line up with what we do. And we need to be detached from it. Okay, so the second thing we need to do, according to Maitreya, is we need to learn sincerity of spirit. Now, this one's a little ethereal if you think about it, especially in a 5-minute YouTube video. It can be kind of hard to go into depth on this, but the simplest way that I can explain it is imagine if you're having a heart-to-heart conversation with a close relative or friend, right? You kind of lose track of time and you're just kind of there sitting on the couch or whatever at the dinner table or whatever, and you're just talking and you're listening to them and so forth, and you're having a great time and you don't even realize that 3 hours have passed, right? Or like for me, when I paint, I totally forget about time and I'm just kind of there painting, right? And even if you don't have those experiences talking with your family members because you don't like your family members or whatever, I don't know, I'm just kidding. But you might experience sincerity of spirit when you're, sitting on a beach watching the sun go down or whatever, and you forget all about your bank account, you forget all about your kids' school or your work week or what you have to do next the next day or whatever. You're just kind of in the moment, and that is kind of a glimpse of what sincerity of spirit is. But when we see these masters, that's the way that they live. So you'll get a really good sense of what sincerity of spirit is, and you also get a good sense of honesty of mind, because you're not going to get a lot of double talk from these masters. You're going to get straightforward but yet simple communication from them. And then the third thing is detachment. Very important. We all are attached to our emotions, our thoughts, our beliefs, our conditioning, our physical, possessions and so forth. I mean, why do you think Jesus told that rich man, in the Bible, it's easier for a rich man to go through the eye of a camel, the eye of a needle than to actually, or a camel to go through the eye of a needle than to actually make it in the kingdom of heaven, because he was attached to his money and his wealth, right? It's the same concept. It doesn't mean that if you're poor, you have any easier time with being detached on things. It's just that it's, when you have a lot of stuff, it becomes very easy to get attached. But we're all attached to our emotions. We're attached to our conditioning, like I said, our thoughts. And Maitreya is going to say, like, especially when you're in the middle of an emotional turmoil, right? He's not going to try to psychoanalyze it away. He's going to say, look, you need to ask yourself, who is having those emotions? Who is having those thoughts? And ask yourself, who am I? And when you do that, you start to distance yourself from your emotions, and they don't seem quite as real. Or if you distance yourself, like who's angry? Or who is the Republican that I said that I was? Or who is the Democrat that I said that I was? And when you start to ask that question, you start to realize that you're really just witnessing all this. You're not really your emotions or your thoughts or your beliefs even. You're something different. And that's really the essence of it. And like I said, all three of these things kind of interconnect and kind of, you can't do one without the other. But you'll get more about this and hear more about this from Maitreya and these masters as time goes on. But you have a little jump start on it, right? And in the meantime, and as always, take action. Help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos. Have a great day.